Hey guys, Jeff here. I made a few videos talking about car accident stuff from the perspective of a chiropractor. It's a reality. They end up handling a lot of car crash cases, and there's a few reasons why. First off, it's just a lot easier to get into a chiropractor when you need to see someone. You can typically get into a chiropractor in a matter of a day or two, if not the same day. Some of them have that availability. Getting in to see your family doctor can take a long time. I mean, if you're trying to set an appointment, it can be anywhere from, a couple weeks to sometimes they're booked out, 5 or 6 weeks. It can make it really tough, particularly when you're in pain, to get that visit and you don't think you need to go to urgent care or the ER, because the ER, it's really for emergency. So if you have a situation where you just need to go into a family doctor, that can be really, really tough right there to get an appointment in a timely manner. And so that's one reason. Another reason is that chiropractors typically spend a lot more time with their patients than the average medical doctor. Chiropractors, typically during that first visit, they'll sit down and talk with their patient for sometimes 40 minutes. That initial appointment will run, and they'll actually have FaceTime with that chiropractor. They'll sit down and listen to them. I think anybody that's been to see a medical doctor, it's really in and out. A few years ago, I broke my arm, and I think combined with all the visits I had with my doctors are great. Probably less than 8 to 10 minutes of time with the actual doctor who was treating me, because it was a quick, hey, 2 minutes, let's get a status update, and then they hand me off to someone else, right? And that's just the way it is. It worked fine, but it was a situation where, hey, we're just kind of managing this broken arm, and that's how they do it. There wasn't time to sit down and kind of go through everything I was going through. But that's another reason. Typically, they'll spend a lot more time with the patients, and whenever you're dealing with a car crash, sometimes you just have a lot of stuff going on, and you need someone who's actually treating you to go through and listen to all this. And then the final reason is chiropractors, they deal a lot more with the range of motion and muscle injuries. They'll spend more time documenting that stuff than the average medical doctor. If you look at a chiropractic record versus a medical doctor's record about the same injury, you're going to get a small percentage of that documentation in the medical doctor's record versus the chiropractor. They're going through and documenting all the range of motion, any deficiencies, and why that deficiency is. Like, let's say you can't raise your hand past this point. Is it because of pain? Is it just physically, you're just not able to? What's going on there? They'll also document a range of motion, a range of tests they do to determine, hey, what's going on with you structurally. And so your documentation on that stuff, particularly muscle spasms as well, we'll jump into that, it's just going to be a lot more fleshed out. And so that's typically why you see folks dealing with chiropractors a lot in car crashes. Sometimes, when people hear the term chiropractor, they'll kind of have a funny look on their face. And sometimes chiropractors, they do get a bad rap. And I think it's for a variety of reasons. There's some chiropractors out there that they treat chiropractic care as like a cure-all that can fix everything. And that's just not the reality of it. There's a limitation to chiropractic care like there is a limitation to any type of care. A good chiropractor will kind of understand those limitations and get them referred out. Your family doctor isn't going to do a surgery on your broken arm. Your family doctor isn't going to MRI. Your family doctor isn't going to treat the disease you have. They're going to refer you out to a specialist, right? That's what a good chiropractor will do. They'll treat what they can, but if you have something that goes beyond what they can do, they'll get you referred out to a medical doctor or a physical therapist or any other specialists that need to get involved to treat more injuries. It's really, really important. And so that may be one reason why chiropractors get a bad rap. Chiropractic care, it's useful for a lot of people with a variety of injuries. The sports medicine world relies upon chiropractors pretty extensively. If you look at the NFL, tons of injuries, high impact injuries, and there are some parallels between car crashes and the types of injuries folks get in the NFL. Every NFL team, outside I think the Atlanta Falcons, employs at least one team chiropractor. Some employ as many as 2 or 3 to help treat their players as they go throughout the season. The Mariners, they have team chiropractors, and they're not even in high velocity injuries or high velocity impacts. The Seattle Seahawks, they have team chiropractors. In fact, their team chiropractor from 2009 to 2022 was actually the team chiropractor for Team USA in the Paralympics. With the sports world, they rely upon chiropractors. And even the American Medical Association, they rely upon chiropractors. If you look at the AMA guidelines to impairment, they specifically say in page 2030 of it, they utilize chiropractors to help evaluate impairment ratings. Chiropractic care and chiropractic evaluation is something that even the American Medical Association, chiropractors to evaluate permanent impairments. And Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, when they look at workers' compensation issues, they rely on chiropractors and evaluations through the AMA guidelines on impairment. I think they still utilize the 5th edition, but the 6th edition has been out for years. So that's the AMA guide. That medical doctors and the medical community, they rely on chiropractors in that respect as well. Chiropractic care, it's important in the car crash context. If you're a chiropractor and you're looking to get involved in, handling car crashes, don't be afraid, but definitely make sure you're doing it the right way, because unfortunately, like in any profession or any industry, you're going to have folks who aren't doing it the right way. And so learn, if you're a chiropractor, if you're hurt in a car crash, talk to your chiropractor about how they handle things, whether they refer out to other folks if they find out you have an injury they can't handle. But yeah, that's chiropractors right there.